can say things like "Andi quasi huchaiba kubandingo nungu."
What it means?
It means sorry, I can't dance because I'm a white person.
Who are the best people that you have ever met till now?
Well, I should always assume
Egyptians. Just say Egyptians, please.
Egyptians are fantastic.
Thank you so much.
You're a country of amazing hosts, and it was very welcoming.
What is the most expensive country that you spent a lot of money to go?
Well, the US are very expensive, especially in terms of transportation. Unless you want to take a plane, then it's kind of cheap, but everything else is very expensive there.
What was the cheapest country that you went to?
Southeast Asia is a relatively cheap travel destination, but it's also Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar not so much, cheap countries.
What was the worst situation that you faced while traveling? And if you don't have, it's okay.
Oh, there are plenty, don't worry.
Okay.
Terrible, endless bus rides, really dirty hostels that I had to stay in because there was just no other option available, or was just terribly broken that moment.
Okay.
I was mugged more than once, which is just not a pleasant experience.
Okay. What was the worst type of food that you tried before?
Plenty. So I'm a vegetarian, I don't eat meat. I ate sheep's head once, actually even the eyeballs of a sheep.
Okay.
In South Africa.
What was the hardest situation that you went through while traveling, if you want to mention?
I mean, there were several. A few years ago, I was working, living, traveling in Chile and Argentina. I was actually doing a work away, so like a kind of volunteering in a hostel, like a eco lodge in Patagonia. And my grandma died back in Germany, and I was faced with this. So I had sort of planned to travel for another 2-3 months, and I was faced with this decision: should I stay or should I go? As the grand song by the Clash. I managed to call the airline, and they actually offered to sort of change the date of my flight for free. So I decided to go back to Germany, but it was also a tough decision to sort of abandon your travel plans, while at the same time I really wanted to be there for the funeral and for my family in that time. So that was definitely a tough moment.
So sorry to say that. I'm so sorry to hear that.
That's part of life. You know?
How do you make your traveling cheap as much as you can?
So you can either stay in fancy hotels and have a lot of comfort, or you can stay in cheap hostels, maybe share a room with someone. Usually also don't eat in, like, let's say, either big franchises or expensive restaurants. I prefer street food, local foods. Being vegetarian usually is much cheaper than eating meat.
It saves a lot of money.
It saves a lot of money. Couch surfing is a great way of getting around without spending any money for the night.
And it's amazing. Spending any money. Someone is hosting you.
Exactly. So for couch surfing, in case you're not familiar with it, it's a platform where you can connect with other travelers who currently are not traveling but who are willing to offer you a place in their home, so you can crash on their couch or on their, I don't know, air mattress, on their carpet. I've slept on carpets before, so things like that.
Interesting. What are the pains and gains out of traveling?
So the pains, of course, are you forgo a lot of comfort. Usually it's more comfortable to stay at home in the safety of your home, if your home is safety. So you forgo comfort, you spend more money, usually when you're traveling. Of course, like, there are, certain things you can't do if you practice a certain sport on a regular basis. It's quite unlikely that you're going to be able to keep up that routine while you're traveling, things like that. But the gains are outweighing the pains tremendously. So it's all these new experiences that you make, new places you see, the new insights you gain. You learn so much while traveling. Traveling is the best kind of school you can go through in a way. And
interesting. How do you make friends while traveling if you felt lonely at somewhere or at some point?
I mean, it really depends. There are like these, if you're traveling solo, backpacker hostels are usually a good place to go because there are other solo travelers, and then it's quite easy to make friends because they're in the same situation as you are. If you feel like you're not really able to connect to people, a good way to go is a lot of like hostels or local tour operators offer like little group activities, so that you, I don't know, travel to a nearby nature site together with a small group of people, and then if you're doing an activity together, automatically you're going to start bonding and connecting and talking. So that's what you want to do. So it's fine to do that if it can help.
I think I'm gonna love this question. How many countries you visited till now?
I don't love this question. I don't No?
You don't count?
I know, I've never kept count.
More than 30?
Probably more than 30, yeah.
Wow, interesting. Your advice for someone who feel like it's traveling is kind of like a hard thing, or he is or she is over planning for traveling, and they think that traveling is kind of like expensive. What your advice is gonna be?
So I mean, technically, traveling is expensive a little bit,
Okay.
but I mean, the best advice is always to start locally. You don't have to travel all the way to the end of the world,
Okay.
To the other side of the world. You can travel locally. It might be just as adventurous just going to an area that you've never been to that's maybe just a few kilometers away from you, trying a new activity.
Okay.
If you've never done a cycling tour,
Okay.
rent a bicycle and go cycling in the vicinity. If
Good
you've never
idea.
been on a hike before, find some nice landscapes nearby, Google whether there are any hiking trails and go hiking there.
Good idea.
If
You mean
were-
start simple, like
start simple and start
take baby
exploring
steps,
exploring your vicinity like a traveler and not like a local, and you'll notice that it actually actually holds a lot of things that you hadn't noticed before.
Okay, interesting. Thank you so much for sharing this. What languages did you learn from traveling till now? And
So-
if you can speak some of them, go ahead.
Fun enough, I'm really good at learning a few words in every language and then immediately forgetting it once I've left the country.
Wow. Okay, you totally forgetting?
Kind of. So like, usually what you learn is like, hi, hello, how are you? I don't know, where is the next toilet?
So you have kind of
things like that. Thank you, please. Yes, no.
The main words or the simple words. Okay.
Funny enough, so one thing that I would, in the beginning, always learn while traveling is in the local language, I would learn the sentence, sorry, I do not speak Arabic, I do not speak Spanish, I do not speak, whatever.
Yeah.
Funny enough, that is the most useless sentence ever, because if someone starts talking to you in a local language that you don't understand, and you respond in a different language, they will figure out that you're not able to speak their language, so you don't need to learn that same sentence.
Yeah, I understand.
But I can probably say that in several languages, so.
Okay. What was your favorite languages that you learned and you feel like, oh my god, I want to learn this language more?
Okay. So I was working as a volunteer in South Africa for a while, and I picked up a bit of Xhosa, which is some language of South Africa that has a number of click sounds, like a.
Is it a
And
language?
that's part. It's a language. It's part of that language. So you would say something like "ukolo," and that means sorry, apologies, or you would say
Just pole? Just
"ukolo."
Okolo.
Ukolo.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ukolo.
Okay.
You can say things like "andikwazi ukuchaiva kubandinga umlungu."
What it means?
It means sorry, I can't dance because I'm a white person.
Can you say something else? I'm sorry. I really love that.
In Xhosa,
Yeah.
I could say "Tongwatwane." That's the name of a beetle, of like a little bug.
Exciting. So, at the end of this, do you have any questions for me, either personally or about traveling the experience or about content creation or anything? Go ahead.
I'd be curious to know, like, the people who watch your videos.
Okay.
Have you ever asked them about their travel stories? Do they share their travel stories with you?
Actually, there's a lot of people that are watching. Alhamdulillah, I have kind of like a very good amount of followers and family for this, and I'm trying to make it bigger. But not all of them that they are traveling, but actually a lot of them are keen on learning and hearing and watching people like you and people like other travelers, watching and hearing about their experiences, their travels, and so on. Sometimes I'm meeting a lot of people who are, maybe you know me or they don't know me, but they have a lot of stories to share with me, and I'm definitely asking them to come to be on my show and to tell their stories. So yeah, I'm hearing a lot of stories and I'm overwhelmed about this, but actually it's a really interesting thing for me.
That's awesome.
To tell and to hear a lot of stories.
Cool.
So at the end of this, it was really my pleasure having you today and traveling back. And actually, it's a pleasure to having you in Egypt in general, or having you in Cairo. And I hope that I hope that you're gonna come more and more and more. And maybe I'm gonna come to Germany one day.
Definitely.
Or meeting
Give me
you.
a ring.
Yeah, we're meeting you at any place in the world. And it's gonna be actually my pleasure. And from day one I met you, you were really kind and you were a really friendly person. So I just wanted to say this
Thanks
to you.
so much.
Yeah,
I can only
and,
return this. It was a fun experience for me.
Yes.
Thanks for having me on your show. And yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Right. Don't forget to subscribe to his channel.
Yeah.
Very important.
Please do subscribe to our channel, and please, I'm gonna put the links for Simon in the description. You can just go on his Instagram and ask him about anything, and feel free to reach him out or reach me out. And thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Thank you so much, Simon.
Bye bye.
Bye.
شكرا.
Shukran. Thank you.